All right, we're gonna dive into number 6 now.
Oh my God, I didn't finish number 5.
Ghost pepper.
Is that 6? Come on, man.
Yeah,
You're killing me.
6.
Let me get
Okay.
some 5 on my tongue. Just to block out 6.
Gotta like, oh god, here's the numbing agent.
It's not that hot, guys.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sure. Ooh, that was a lot of number 5.
Oh gosh, don't die on us, Luke.
They haven't been so bad so far, have they?
Oh, that last one was.
Got the sinuses open.
Yeah, this one's nice and runny, so you know it's gonna be hot. Ghost pepper, huh? Oh boy. Get some milk. Now I'm gonna look at you because you ate it first.
Oh boy, that's hot. I haven't drank my milk yet, but it's calling my name.
I'm pretty sure that's when I drank straight last time.
Oh no.
You drank it straight? Mm-hmm. Oh my God. Thank you.
And I was like, man, this ain't hot. Drink it. So.
Yep. Nope.
Go.
That's like,
You guys want
That's
to be like,
hot.
that's my point.
Oh my gosh.
Can I take this off? A little warm.
you guys going to die on me here? What's going on?
Woo!
That one tastes really good. I like it.
I bet you do.
I'm put some on the other side.
I can't taste anything except burn. Like it burns.
Yeah. Why would anybody eat that on purpose? Who does that?
Who willingly does that? Like it literally feels
This
like I
guy?
have a rug on my mouth and it's on fire.
Yeah.
This is definitely warmer, but I think the habanero one tastes the best.
Like the left side of my tongue is gone.
Oh, like oh, that's golly.
We haven't even gotten up to the wild sauce
I
yet.
know. Mm-hmm. I'm aware. I don't know how Conan O'Brien did it.
Well, everybody's tolerance is different.
Just hold the milk in your mouth on your tongue, Luke. It helps.
Venice. Venice is the place. with the-
Venice.
Venice. Hot sauce kicked it back in. Venice is where.
Kickstarted that memory.
It did. It did.
All right. So number 6, with your career at Dayton, you had a pretty historical win here.
Whew. Yes. Now's the time to talk about it.
Well, you got snot run out your nose.
Yes,
and
you know what I
can't
mean?
feel your tongue.
Whew.
I mean, perfect timing.
So Luke here ran a campaign, and he won with, what's his name?
A gentleman named Podesta Calhoun.
All right. You just take it from there and explain what it is that you ran for and all that good
So,
stuff.
so I'll give you a little backstory. I was a union member. I've always been a union member since I went to the city. We're a union shop. And even though Post Janus has given us options, I always felt that, my contract and the money I made and the benefits I had were a result of what the unions had done. And, so I was always a member. I had no problem with that. But I wasn't active, admittedly. I didn't go to the meetings. I didn't pay much attention. I just did my job. And if I ever got in trouble, they would be there for me and they would negotiate my contracts. Love it or hate it. So COVID hit. And when COVID hit, some of our leadership that was there were retiring and getting out. And me and some of the guys that I work with decided that we wanted to get more involved. We felt that with COVID, there were opportunity for the unions to step up and be more active and take advantage of the situation to really start fighting for some of our rights that the government we felt were easily taken away from us with the stroke of a pen, And so we got more involved. We started going to meetings. We started having conversations. Well, that led to me running for what we call a chapter position, which is essentially I would be the guy. I'm elected to a position that has to represent employees when they get in trouble. I sit on the negotiating team for the contracts and things of that nature. I hadn't done enough in the union to feel like I had earned the right to just try to slide in at, say, like the presidential level. To me, that is a step where somebody who was involved in the union deserves to move into that, And we all understand that these things can be somewhat of a popularity contest. So,
absolutely.
A super popular person could come along and win that position, but not really deserve it or have a clue what they're doing, which is fine. But so I ran for chapter, and I was there for 3 years, and people tell me I did a really good job. So, I like to think that I'm in the business of communication more than anything. Yes, I'm there for people on their worst days. I sat on the porch with a guy that had worked for the city for like 45 years, and I helped him fill out his retirement papers. And he was being forced out, and it wasn't great, but at least somebody that actually cared about him was sitting there. I had worked with him too.
Yeah.
Instead of the city, sending him some sort of disciplinary action, they were essentially pushing him out the door for health reasons and things of that nature. Which, it happens. But
How old was he?
80. I want to say he was like 83.
Oh yeah, man, he was going to enjoy the rest of his life.
Yeah, that's the thing. Once you reach a certain point, there's no retirement benefit to continue to work.
Right.
So just need to go and enjoy the rest of your life. I'd actually negotiated with the city to where he could come if he wanted, and he could literally, as a non-employee, he could come on the yard and sit with people and drink coffee in the morning and hang out if that's really what he wanted to do.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, but that was one of the things that we did, and I did that for 3 years, and I extremely enjoyed it. But at the end of 3 years, my position was up for re-election. I don't know if anybody was going to run against me or not. Probably not. But I took an opportunity to run for the next step up. Mainly because from where I was at, I was limited by powers above me. And my ideas were stifled. I could only do so much, and I only had so much ability. So I had to live in the world that other people were creating, and I had some disagreements on what we were doing and the direction we were headed. So I decided that I was going to run for it, and I was going to, instead of complaining about it once again, I'm going to put my name where it belongs.
Yeah.
Fortunately for me, I had some really good opportunities. Perdessa Calhoun, who was the current vice president, decided he wanted to run with me, which was fantastic because
that's awesome.
that man knows everybody. Everybody.
He was the VP for the other.
He was the VP for the other person, yeah. So, and we had a lot of great conversations about the direction we should be headed, some of the big issues that we're having, and how we can address those. We just hit the right stride and had the same vision, and it just kind of worked out really well. So
Good.
So awesome.
So we campaigned, and it was not fun. What do they say about? They say a lot of things about politics, but everything they say about politics is true.
Oh yeah.
There are no rules. It is not enjoyable. I spent a lot of money to run for a non-paying elected position, and I put up a billboard, which was the first time in the history that anybody's ever put up a billboard. We just did a lot of new stuff just to.
Well, that's the thing about you. You always think outside the box.
Oh my gosh, you want to come? If you need an idea, he's your man.
Yeah. He knows how to think outside the box. He remembers like all this marketing management stuff that other people have done to like finagle ways to grasp people's attention.
Yes.
Well, we did. We put up a giant billboard, my big face, and Perdessa's face on it. But we put it right across the street from the Dayton City Yards where everybody works. So hundreds of people work and see that sign every single day.
Which is genius. I'm surprised she
location.
didn't think of it.
Well, there was a sign right above it. She could have bought and put something clever above it pointing down at me. Would have been fine, touche.
Would have been hilarious.
We bought T-shirts with our faces on it. So one of the things we did, not to get too much into the weeds, but we took one picture and we just repeated that picture on everything so that people became familiar with it.
Right.
It was on every flyer. It was on every button. It was on everything so that it was just, by the end, it was just ingrained. I was handing out full-size candy bars for the last 3 months I probably spent $700 in candy bars.
Dang.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and that was, yes, expired. For those of you who know, there were some expired candy bars in there. I didn't know. But how else can I afford the large candy bars? So like the 4-pack Reese cups, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we would put flyers on those. People love that. So, but the biggest thing we did was we started getting out and talking to the other. So one of the things about our union is it's unique as opposed to a lot of unions in Ohio. We're one of the only unions that have what we call chapters. So like Dayton is the local 101, but we also have 28 sub-chapters who we're also in charge of. Mm-hmm. So like as a chapter chair, I was in charge of my chapter. Oakwood has a chapter, UD has a chapter, RTA has a chapter, but we are all under the umbrella of 101.
Okay.
If you come to Troy, Piqua, Sidney, they have their own local. So TIP is its own local. They don't have any chapters. So ours are a little bit more unique. We have about 2,000 members local wide. And then Dayton as a whole is the largest region in the state of Ohio.
Wow.
So we're pretty influential, which is one thing that I feel we've lost is that acknowledgement of how big we are and how much power we really do have and how influential we can be because we now all live in our little bubbles. And I think the union has not done a great job at communicating that we're part of a bigger entity.
Yeah.
So, so that's essentially why we did it and why we got into it. I've been doing it for 2 weeks, and it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, well, congratulations on the win, though.
Oh, thank you.
That's pretty awesome.
I never doubted it for a second. As soon as I found out he was running, I was like, oh, he's got it in the bag.
Yeah, well, it took about 72 hours to stop responding to all the congratulations. So once I got past that, then I could start, doing work. But it was fun. It was great. Once it was over, it was over. I was glad. If I never have to run for election again, it'd be too soon because it is a lot. I mean, I don't know how people do it for a career,
Yeah, just
wild.
hearing the stories that you said, I'm like, oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, and there's nothing nice about it.
Right.
I mean, people lie. People make up stories. I mean,
It's like high school.
It's like high school. If you ran around and tried to put out all the fires, not to get, like I said, not to get too much into weeds, but I mean, I was called a lot of things that I'm not.
Yeah.
But you can't worry about all that stuff.
Yeah, no.
And you can't retaliate because if you retaliate, you look petty.
Yeah.
Somebody put a video out and they claimed that I had broke into their office.
Oh, gosh.
And, I never broke into the office. I had a key to the office. I had access to the office. I mean, it was total BS.
Yeah, absolutely.
But again, it's like you can't sit. You find yourself spinning in circles if you're trying to run around and explain to everybody. You just ignore it. You move forward.
Yeah, you definitely have to pick your battles.
You pick your
For
battles.
Sure.
So
For sure.
that's what we did, and quite well. It was quite a nice victory. My whole team, 14 people, won. So everybody on my team, we all run individually technically, so you don't have to vote. You could have voted for me and not Podesta, or you could have voted Podesta and not me. But my whole 14 people won very handedly.
Oh, wow.
So
I don't remember you saying that. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah. So you pick your main leadership is 5 people, and then you have 3 trustees, and you have 6 members at large. I think that's 14. And correct me if I'm wrong, but. So you run kind of as a group because, some of my great members at large and my trustees are clerical.
Right.
And I don't know clerical people. So they're going to bring people to vote for them that are also going to vote for me. Meanwhile, I'm bringing people to vote for me that are also going to vote for them.
Right.
So it's kind of how you do it. But yeah, we all won. It was a
It's
landslide.
like a Trump landslide almost.
It was quite a landslide.
Oh,
yeah.
gosh.
Yeah. But now the hard part is living up to the expectation.
Right.
Because you ran such a intense campaign. I'll be honest, it's not like I was running around making promises because it wasn't one of those things.
Right.
But people have expectations, and they let you know what their expectations are. So now trying to live up to those expectations and communicate that you've lived up to those expectations.
Yeah.
That's the challenge. That's the work. That's going to be the work.
Well, I think one of your best characters is that you're super good at communication.
Yeah.
So I mean, like, you could talk your way out of anything.
Thank you.
Like,
Don't tell the
seriously.
police that.
Right. I mean, and I don't mean that
All
like
those
he's
tickets.
not gonna lie. Like he's just good at just explaining things, and like he can really help you see things from a different view.
Thank
and
you.
I think that's super fitting that you got the role. So absolutely, congratulations. I'm
Thank you.
super excited to see what you do.
Yeah, I got 3 years, and then whatever after that, we'll see.
So the vision that you have, you think this will be easily achievable within those 3 years?
Yeah, I do. I think if anything, I look back at my last 3 years and I realize why, politicians stay in roles for a long time. I mean, I look back and I think, man, what did I do? And then I sit there and I think, okay, I did all these great things but there are all these other things I wanted to do that I didn't do. So from that, I think I've learned I'm going to approach it a little differently this time. Also, not being a chapter, you're not day to day. So on a day to day, I'm not going to grievance hearings. I'm not going to disciplinary hearings. I'll have more time to focus on big picture problems. The harder part is communicating how you fix those problems to the masses. Like I said, we're 28 chapters. And if you look at it like that, that's 28 different groups of people who have no affiliation with each other whatsoever, other than the union.
Right.
So
yeah.
like Moraine is in our union, but so are SROs, who are the backbone for the security for the city of Dayton Public Schools. They have no connection to each other. They don't know each other. They would never even meet each other. So my job is to remind both of those that they're under the same team, and then communicating to both of those what we're doing to improve. And that's challenging. And that's challenging enough. But if you look at like Montgomery County or City of Dayton, within that group, you've got 20 different working locations, 190 different job titles, people who have no connection to each other whatsoever, other than the fact that they work for the same city.
Yeah.
Getting all those people to see that they have common problems, common issues, that's the challenge. But they do. I mean, at the end of the day, there's really the top 3 problems. Everybody has the same problems, So
Yeah.
we're just going to work on how we communicate that to the people. That's
Yeah.
going to be the biggest part.
Yeah, that's been like a big problem with even like running G2 is just getting the message out there to everybody, because not everybody's paying attention to the same sources or anything like that.
Right.
So a lot of times, like you were talking about, wanting to have those get-togethers or whatever to draw the people in.
Yeah.
Your what were they called? Union parties or?
Yeah, some sort of union party or just some sort of appreciation gathering, picnics, or, they used to do more of that back in the day, but they've really died off. And COVID killed any remnant of gatherings that we've
Right.
done.
Yeah.
That kind of stuff needs to happen, because our best delivery method for like our messages are when they're there at the field.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that are interested in actually being there to begin with.
Yeah.
So you disseminate it to them, and that'll kind of disseminate out a bit more
Yeah.
from there.
For sure.
Yeah, we have a monthly chapter meeting. All the chapters are supposed to meet with their own membership, but the feedback you usually get is that the turnout's pretty low.
Mm-hmm.
I just talked to a guy today, and he said, "Well, we do them sporadically," and I'm like, "Well, we've got to fix that." And the argument I always make, just like union boards, what happened first? Did people stop using them, or did we stop using them?
Right.
So if we stop updating them, people aren't going to use them. Or did people stop using them and then we stop? I don't know the answer. I don't know why people don't go to chapter meetings. We live in a technology age where if I have a question, I can call, text, email. I don't have to go to a meeting and sit through listening to a bunch of people. I can just call my chapter chair. So I think that's part of it.
I think a lot of it's just people just want to work and they just want to go home.
They just want to work and go home.
Yeah.
They have lives, they have
That's
families.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And unless there's something important going on, most people don't come, and that's totally fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You gotta be, we'll have to respect everyone's time, but at the same time too, it's like, how can we get everyone gathered together to get on the same page so that we know what is the mutual problem so that it can be remedied?
Yeah. I think one of our biggest issues with that is that there's this misconception that the union and work time are related. because a lot of people want to do things on work time. And the problem is the jobs have no obligation to let you do union stuff. We just went through this with some voting. They have no obligation to let you do union stuff on their time.
Right.
So it's a negotiation with them, and it's a relationship you got to build with the groups to get them to understand it's important. So if I threw a party, best would be to have a party on a Wednesday in the middle of the day, and then everybody's at work, just show up.
Absolutely.
But the cities won't let them do that. So you're going to have it in the evening. You're going to have it on a Saturday. And again, that comes down to people have lives. So, we have to do something. We have to bring back. Janus was a big decision some years ago where union members no longer had to be in a union. If they were working for a union shop, they could opt to not be in the union. Prior to Janus, everybody had to be in. So that was a big blow for unions. And one of the things that I feel like I bring is, so I look at a union membership as not just something that they should have to. They should have to, but I really want to earn their business.
Right.
And that comes from like selling gym memberships or selling products. We got to earn their business these days. I do their contracts. I do, if guys are making a ton of money and they're in a really good shop, they think we don't need the union. Look how good we're doing. Even though they forget that if they get rid of the union, the shop can just take that stuff away from them. People that are in terrible shops that are struggling, why do we need the union? They're not getting us anything. But what they don't realize is we are fighting every chance we get to get them more. So, nobody's going to give them more if we weren't fighting for it. Otherwise, they would already gave it to them.
Right.
So, if the best of times, people think, what do I need the union for? And the worst of times, people are like, why am I in a union? But the truth is, the cities will take that away from them as fast as they can when they hit hard times. And we'll stop them the best we can. And on the other end of it, we will continue to fight to get them more than what they were going to get without us. So there's a pro and con. Like I said, prior to this, I was never active, but I've come to learn the value. So that's what I'm doing. So
yeah, it's because you benefited quite a bit from it.
Hugely.
So you see the importance in it, and you got to get the other people to see that too, or get stuff in there that they can benefit from, even if it's at like no extra cost, to you guys, to the union.
Listen, I saved $5 at Roosters the other day, just for being a union member. They got a little union wear app, and our Union Plus app, and I pull it up, and it gives me all kinds of discounts.
There you go.
So if people are worried about their union dues being too expensive, take advantage of all the free opportunities. Take advantage of the discount cell phone bills and home loans, free colleges.
Well, I think too, it's like even with any gym membership, just going off on the cuff here. There's sometimes you don't know what benefits you have.
Right.
You just kind of sign the contract, and you just go up, you use the treadmill, blah, blah. But maybe that's the same thing with the union. They don't understand all the benefits they truly have.
It's a big
and
problem.
You being able to be there, you're going to relay the communication to them. And you'd be like, hey, there are these added benefits. So, I just think maybe there was just a lack of communication. And, you're going to hit that out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
So,
of course.
And that's going to make a big difference. It's always the little things that add up to the big things.
Right.
It's the big things that everyone's like, oh, this is a catastrophe. But really, it's not. It's like, and I think that's at any professional place. It's the little things that add up for the employees to get really irritated.
Yeah.
It's like you just gotta listen to them, and if there's a common theme, then you gotta fix the common theme.
Well, old leadership was pre-Janus, and that's their mentality. They were a steward of the money. They were, they just steered the ship. Membership was automatic. They didn't have to worry about that stuff. We have to transition our mindset. I know that we feel you should join but at the same time, we have to realize that that's not always the case. We have to, you guys run the G2. You've had to spend money to make money.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and you have to. So that's where we're at now too. You're gonna have to spend some money in order to earn these people to come back on board or to stay on board. And it's just what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Ready for number 7?
No, not at all. Not at all. Let's talk more
Do you
about.
have any more to say?
Come
Luke?
on, let's keep talking.
This
Too
is-
many- I'll give you day by day for the last 3 years if you want.
Okay.
God, Jesus.
Oh, you put on a what?
I don't know what he's thinking.
I put on a dab, and then I shake it off.
I'd cover it in it if I could.
Habanero X Hot. Okay, here we go.
Get your guys' reactions first.
Oh, gee, that's too much. Gotta put it back in the bottle.
If it's getting too hot, baby, you don't have to do it.
No, I'm not.
You talking to me?
Your new nickname is now Babe.
All right. I tried like hell to keep it off my tongue, but it didn't work. I think I made it worse.
Oh, now it's on my lip. Oh gosh.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Oh yeah, I love the flavor. What's that flavor? Numbing? Is that where I can't taste the chicken anymore?
I don't really taste it.
Oh my God, you're broken. What'd they feed you in the military?
Anything and
Yeah,
everything.
that's the problem. Ooh. Oh, that's the problem right there. I'm gonna try it even. I'm gonna go twice,
My lips are on fire.
just because I'm a good sport. I
Really
don't
not
want
that
anybody.
bad.
I don't want anybody to watch this podcast think I'm a loser. So. Oh yeah, no, that's no good.
Ew.
That's
Why
no
would
bueno.
he just chug it? He just chugged it.
It's not that bad. I actually feel like the,
I think that one's hotter.
yeah, I think the ghost pepper was hot.
I think the ghost pepper was hotter for sure.
I think
But-
my eating approach was different. Instead of going in one way, which just numb one side of my mouth, I tried to go in the middle and miss my tongue, and it just
It
spread
just
out.
Spread out.
So now my whole tongue is numb, not just half. Oh man, Ooh, my gut's gonna love me later.
Yeah.
That's why I say you only got to put like a little drop on there, you know, so you can.
Oh man.
Oh, that kicks in a little bit later on, don't it?
Oh, does it?
Oh,
no, yeah.
And my lips are simmering.